So, finally, the rumors are no longer just whispers. They're echoing throughout the entire WWE universe. The Shield might actually be returning. Yes, you heard that right. The legendary faction that once dominated WWE with their ruthless teamwork, tactical assaults, and unmatched chemistry could be making a comeback. But there's more. The biggest bombshell, Roman Reigns might have just unmasked the identity of the new Shield member. This isn't just a nostalgic reunion. It's the rise of something far more dangerous. And if you are new on the channel, then subscribe to the channel and you will keep getting new updates on the channel like this update of Wave about to break it all down. Let's rewind just a bit. For those of you who follow WWE for years, you know what the Shield represents. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. Three men who shook the WWE to its core. They didn't walk to the ring. They stormed through the crowd. Tactical gear, black boots, brotherhood, and destruction. That was their mission. And when the Shield disbanded, it wasn't just a split, it was a betrayal. Seth Rollins was the man who swung the steel chair that shattered the Brotherhood. He was the architect, but he also became the executioner. And ever since then, the ghost of the Shield has haunted WWE in every big storyline. Now, fast forward to today, May 2025. WWE is teasing something massive. Saturday Night Main Event is scheduled for May 25th and it's already shaping up to be historic. But why does it feel different this time? Why is there a buzz that's louder than usual? Because all signs are pointing to the return of the Shield, but not as we knew them. This time there's a twist. Roman Reigns has been off the radar since WrestleMania 41. No promos, no appearances, no revenge. But sources and subtle hints suggest he hasn't been idle. He's been recruiting. He's been planning. And now he's ready to unveil the next chapter of the Shield with a new member. But why now? Why is this all happening suddenly? Let's look at three major developments that make this return feel inevitable. First, CM Punk, the best in the world, returned to WWE and instantly found himself in the middle of chaos. This Saturday, he teams up with Sami Zayn to face Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, a match that's already drawing massive attention. But let's think about it. Why pair CM Punk with Sami? And why are they going against Rollins and Braun? There's tension, there's heat, and more importantly, there's betrayal brewing. The biggest rumor swirling backstage is that Sami Zayn might turn on CM Punk. That's right. The very man who once stood for loyalty and integrity might snap. Imagine the scene. Punk reaching out for a tag only to have Sami step back, smirk, and walk away, leaving him vulnerable to Seth and Braun. It's classic storytelling, but it sets the stage for something bigger. Because if Punk is betrayed and then shifts his attention to John Cena for their rumored clash at Money in the Bank, who's left to handle Seth Rollins and his rising faction? And that's where it gets interesting. That's where the past starts to bleed into the present. Because Seth Rollins isn't just out there wrestling. He's building something. He's forming alliances. He's creating a team, a dangerous one, with Braun Breaker by his side. This isn't coincidence. Seth is preparing for war. And who better to stand against him than the very brothers he once betrayed? Which brings us to the second major point. Seth Rollins himself. The very architect of the Shield might be building the enemy of what he once stood for. At WrestleMania 41, he walked out not just as a performer, but as a general. His alignment with Braun Breaker wasn't random. It was strategic. His rebuilding, but in his own image, not the Shield. Something darker, something colder. But why is that a clue? Because WWE never let symmetry like this go to waste. Seth was the one who created the Shield. He was also the one who destroyed it. So the poetic justice writes itself. The Shield returns to destroy what Seth has built in their absence. And that vengeance, that poetic karma, it's likely being led by none other than Roman Reigns, which leads us to the third and most explosive reason. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the man who's dominated the WWE landscape for nearly 4 years. And yet, after WrestleMania 41, he vanished just like that. No confrontation, no retaliation, no explanation. Braun Breaker speared Roman out of nowhere and helped Seth Rollins claim a massive win. And yet, Roman didn't fight back. That's not Roman Reigns. That's not the man who crushed Brock Lesnar, smashed Jey Uso, and ruled SmackDown with an iron fist. So why the silence? Because Roman is preparing something more powerful than anyone could imagine. Roman isn't coming back alone. He's coming back with the Shield. Not just to fight, not just to compete, but to destroy Seth Rollins and everything he stands for. And here's where things get even more intense. According to some inside sources, Roman has been in private meetings with WWE creative. Talks of a massive return. Talks of a reunion. And not just any reunion, of a resurrection of the Shield, but with a shocking twist. One of the members is new. The identity of this new Shield member. Roman has kept it secret until now. In a cryptic promo that was quickly deleted by WWE after being briefly posted online, Roman stood in a dark room lit only by flickering lights. He looked directly into the camera and said, "Justice never dies. It only evolves. The architect built it, but now I will rebuild it." The Shield returns, and this time we have a new weapon. Then, just as the promo faded, a silhouette emerged behind Roman. A massive figure, tall, strong, wearing the iconic black vest. His face wasn't fully visible, but fans were quick to analyze. The most popular theory, Jacob Fatu. The Samoan powerhouse recently signed with WWE, and his loyalty to Roman could make him the perfect addition. Others believe it could be a surprise NXT call-up. Someone like Trick Williams or Carmelo Hayes who has the charisma and grit to thrive in a Shield role. Now, let's talk about the second big reason why this Shield comeback feels inevitable. It's Seth Rollins himself. The man who once helped form the Shield is now the very reason they must return. Look closely at what's happening. After WrestleMania 41, Rollins didn't remain a lone wolf. He didn't stay isolated. He began building something, forming a team, an alliance with Braun Breaker. Unlike Roman Reigns or CM Punk, who returned and stood alone for a while before joining forces, Seth wasted no time. He saw the battlefield forming and knew he needed backup. That move speaks volumes. Why would Seth Rollins suddenly decide to build his own group unless he knew that something big was on the horizon? Something like the return of the very faction he betrayed years ago. We all remember what happened. Seth Rollins was the architect of the Shield, but he was also its executioner. He shattered the bond between brothers where he turned on Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. That betrayal left scars that have never truly healed. Now that Rollins has built his own team, it's only fitting that the original unit, the Shield, returns to settle the score. Retribution is coming and Rollins is going to find himself at the mercy of the very legacy he tried to erase. However it is, one thing is clear. Roman is planning his return. And he's not doing it quietly. He's coming for Seth, for Braun, for vengeance. This Saturday could mark the beginning of that war. Roman Reigns might return at Saturday Night Main Event. Or perhaps he's saving the explosion for the Raw after, but the countdown has begun. All signs point to one outcome. The Shield will rise again, but this time not just for justice, but for revenge. Oh, now I ask you, do you feel it? Do you sense the shift? Because this isn't just a wrestling storyline. It's a reckoning. The Brotherhood is being reforged in fire, betrayal, and vengeance. Roman Reigns is ready to unmask the identity of the new Shield member. And when he does, the entire WWE will never be the same. Stay alert. Saturday night may just be the night we all witness history.